So I finally saw The Batman, my most anticipated movie of the year, and I loved it. This is the most brutal version of Batman I have ever seen, and also the most broken. This is a very early days Batman who hasn't figured out what it means to be Batman yet, and Robert Pattinson plays the role incredibly well. I never gave in to the stupid backlash of sparkly vampires playing Batman, but a lot of people did, despite giving the same backlash to Ben Affleck's casting, and then they ended up loving him so much. They just never learn, do they? And interestingly, Robert Pattinson is honestly the only actor to give such a varied performance as Batman. Something that all the previous Batmans have had is that they are usually one note in the way that they talk. Michael Keaton spoke in one note to everyone when he was Batman, so did Kilmer, of course Clooney did, and even Bale and Affleck. But Pattinson as Batman speaks to everyone in a different tone, and sometimes he won't even talk to them at all. And in one particular scene, it was very funny. This reminds me a lot of how Kevin Conroy's Batman would change his attitude when he was speaking to different people. And that honestly is how a lot of these characters were acting. They're definitely their own versions, but their style of communication feels very much like a more adult version of their characters in the animated series and comic books. And that is a fantastic live-action interpretation of these characters. Even the Riddler, not only is he a great villain, but he is very terrifying in this movie. And although his murder scenes come right out of a horror movie, when you actually hear him talk, he very much sounds like the Riddler. So the characters all feel very true and authentic to what they are in their source material. And dude, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, I knew it was him under all that makeup and I still couldn't recognize him. And he's not in the movie much, but this film does a fantastic job at setting him up to be a much bigger influence in Gotham City going forward. The casting all round was fantastic in this film, and this is the best and smartest case of race swapping characters, as Jeffrey Wright and Zoe Kravitz both did a fantastic job as Gordon and Catwoman. And Matt Reeves didn't race swap the characters just to do it. It was actually a very inspired casting choice. He didn't do it the typical Hollywood way just to force some representation. And this movie is under 3 hours, and I did not feel that length at all. The movie felt like 2 hours to me. It went by so quickly, and when it ended, I didn't want it to stop. I just wanted to watch more. And when it was over, I actually wanted to see it again straight after. That has not happened to me for a very long time, but man, I really want to watch this movie again. And the cinematography was downright beautiful. There is not a single lazy shot in this movie. You definitely would want to watch this on the biggest screen possible. The action in the movie was also very good. Not amazing, but I was still incredibly happy and satisfied with it. The use of horror in this movie was also very well handled, and you can tell that this movie is pushing the PG-13 rating as hard as it can. So much so that if you told me this was an R-rated movie, I would have believed you. This is definitely not a children's film, and this would downright terrify younger viewers. Batman movies have been creepy and even scary at times, but this is the first Batman movie to be disturbing. And the music from Michael Giacchino was also fantastic, and it added so much to every scene of the movie. And the detective element of the film, it was everything I wanted it to be and more. It feels so unique and unlike anything we have ever seen in a comic book movie before. And that's what I love about this movie. It feels 100% new and completely unique. I can't think of a single comic book movie that is like this, and this film is so grounded and real that it even gave a brand new take on how the Riddler recruits his thugs. And throughout this movie, you can feel the animosity and disgust that the cops have towards Batman, and it creates this constant feeling of unease and tension. But in spite of that, Batman still has to enter these crime scenes surrounded by cops, and you are just waiting for something to go wrong. Honestly, there is so much that this movie does right, and I can't wait to talk more about it in my The Batman Versus videos. And the ending, they do something with Batman in this that I have never seen in any other Batman property or even any other comic book movie. It was so beautiful and it warmed my heart. And I have never seen this kind of heroic poetry in a superhero movie before, but Matt Reeves did it in a way that was so moving. And I just can't believe that with all the comic book movies being released nowadays, that Matt Reeves was the only one to make the symbol of a hero so beautiful. This movie does so much with silence, where the characters don't speak a word and the music and visuals does all the talking. It really is masterful filmmaking, and as always, my score for the movie might change by the time I make the Versus video, but right now, my score for this movie is a fantastic 9 out of 10. Do I have complaints with this movie? Yeah, I do, but I need to see it again in order to know if it's a problem that sticks. But as it stands, my biggest problem with this movie is the Riddler's motivation in the third act. But I need to watch the movie again to know for sure if that really is a problem with the movie or if I just missed something. I also wish that we got more scenes with Alfred, even if it was just one more scene. But aside from that, the Batman is so unique and such a massive departure from the rest of the comic book stuff that we usually see. And I want more films like this. I don't want to see see the same big CGI spectacle anymore. I want proper, mature, and emotionally deep storytelling, and the Batman has given me that in spades. The next two comic book films that we are getting, however, are Morbius and Doctor Strange 2, and they will just give us more of the same that we have already seen before. But Matt Reeves has given us something really special, and it goes to show how the mark of a director can really make all the difference. Which is why we will never see something like this from Marvel, because they don't allow directors to have the kind of creative control that Matt Reeves has had with this movie. As dark as the film is, it is also humorous and really moving too, and I can't wait to see it again. So, comment below with your thoughts as to what you thought of the Batman, and if you haven't seen it, go out and see it. I am telling you, it is so different in all of the best ways, and the beautiful scene that I'm talking about, you will know when you see it. It is so moving and showcases a connection between Batman and Gotham that we have never seen before. Certainly not in this emotional way, at least. Stay tuned for my The Batman Versus videos, as I'm going to get to work on those right now. The Spider-Man No Way Home Versus video is still underway, but I'm waiting for the movie to come out so I can use actual movie footage in my review and not just trailer footage. Thanks very much for your continued patience, guys. Please do give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help, and be sure to donate $1 to me on Patreon so you can gain access to additional content, including an exclusive spoiler discussion of the Batman where I can talk about all the stuff I was referring to in this review, and more. And I will see all of you very soon. Take care.